Hamburg, a bustling World War II industrial heart, endured a cataclysmic 1943 firestorm that scarred Germany, shaping the war. But what if British bombers had passed it by? What if its vital ports and factories remained unscathed? The ripple from that unmade decision could have altered history. And let's find the answer to the question, what if, in an alternate reality, without the devastating aerial campaigns targeting Hamburg, this vital northern German city would have remained an unscathed jewel, its strategic importance for the German war effort undiminished and largely unhindered. Hamburg's colossal industrial apparatus, including its massive shipyards for U-boat construction, crucial aircraft component factories, and essential oil refineries, would continue operating with minimal disruption. This uninterrupted output would prevent the catastrophic production losses our timeline witnessed, maintaining a steady supply of critical war materials. Furthermore, the city's robust infrastructure, encompassing its vital port, extensive railway networks, and intact urban facilities, would ensure the seamless flow of supplies, personnel, and essential materials directly into the German war machine. Crucially, without immense civilian casualties and widespread displacement, Hamburg's skilled workforce would remain preserved and available for its industries and services, thereby averting the severe labor shortages that crippled production in other heavily bombed areas. This sustained operational capacity would present a significant, albeit subtle, advantage for the German war effort. Without the devastating success of the 1943 Hamburg bombing campaigns, Allied air strategy would have evolved along a markedly different trajectory. In our history, Hamburg provided a grim proof of concept for concentrated area bombing, significantly influencing British Bomber Command's doctrine. Lacking this pivotal event, there might be more prolonged internal debates within Allied command regarding optimal tactics and target selection, potentially delaying or altering strategic shifts towards widespread urban destruction. The substantial resources, bombers, crews, and ordnance initially committed to the Hamburg raids would instead be redirected, likely intensifying attacks on other crucial German industrial centers, vital transportation hubs, or U-boat construction pens. Moreover, the deployment and effectiveness of electronic warfare measures like window, chaff might be evaluated differently without the dramatic success observed in our timeline during the Hamburg raids, consequently altering the development and tactical application of future countermeasures for both sides. In an alternate reality where Hamburg was spared the Inferno, Germany's capacity for resistance would subtly strengthen, potentially prolonging the brutal conflict. The city's uninterrupted output, particularly of vital U-boat components and synthetic fuel, would marginally improve the nation's material capacity, offering a slight, though not decisive, boost to the war effort. Crucially, the German civilian population, especially in the northern regions, would avoid the profound psychological shock and widespread social breakdown witnessed in our timeline, potentially sustaining morale marginally longer. Furthermore, the immense resources, manpower, construction materials, and emergency services historically diverted to cope with Hamburg's destruction would instead be available for other pressing military or economic priorities, subtly extending Germany's ability to wage war. The survival of Hamburg's industrial heart, untouched by Allied bombs, would introduce subtle yet significant shifts across military fronts. An uninterrupted flow of U-boat components and maintenance capabilities from its shipyards could notably prolong the brutal Battle of the Atlantic. A marginally increased number of operational U-boats would intensify the struggle for Allied shipping, potentially extending the submarine threat. Furthermore, preserved industrial output would free up critical resources, potentially leading to a fractionally better equipped or more sustained German military presence on either the eastern or western front, slightly bolstering their desperate resistance. Resources not tied up in Hamburg's reconstruction might also be redirected to other vital military projects, altering their development timelines or deployment. Even if specific outcomes remain speculative, these ripple effects, though perhaps not war-deciding, would undoubtedly influence the brutal grind of conflict. The survival of Hamburg as a relatively intact industrial and port city would profoundly reshape Germany's post-war recovery and its geopolitical landscape. A largely undamaged Hamburg, boasting its vital port and robust industrial base, would emerge as a formidable engine for national reconstruction, significantly accelerating Germany's overall economic recovery. Beyond economics, the city would retain much of its unique pre-war architectural heritage, offering a distinct cultural and social identity that could influence broader urban planning across war-torn Germany. Furthermore, as a major economic hub strategically positioned within the British occupation zone, an intact Hamburg could significantly influence the balance of power and economic development within nascent West Germany, potentially altering its strategic importance and role in the emerging Cold War divisions and the broader European framework. A non-bombed Hamburg means sustained German industry, a potentially longer war, and a different post-war Germany. In your opinion, what if the British had not bombed Hamburg? Share your thoughts in the comments.